Hello folks, and we're at Nigel's again, and we're doing the Grape Wine Part 2. Over to you, Nigel.
Okay, Julie. Right, you remember when we set the grapes up, we set off 12 pounds of grapes and a few pints of water. I think it was probably 3 pints, perhaps 4 pints of water. I squeezed the grapes to get most of the juice out. I put in some sugar, and this has been left for about a fortnight. And now what we need to do is to take the skins out. Most of the fermentation will have taken place, but we'll take the skins out, and then in a few days we'll be able to transfer this into a demi-john. But the first job is to just take all the skins out. The colour of the wine, you can't actually see this from where you are because of the camera angle, but the colour of the wine is a nice red.
Yeah, it's a bit like a burgundy colour, isn't it?
I need to be a bit taller, I can't quite reach into there very well. Usually I put this on the ground when I'm doing it, but I'm doing this for the camera so you can see what I'm doing. It is tempting to use a sieve to dredge through everything. That's not the way to make a nice wine. You need to take out the debris relatively quickly so that it doesn't start to go off or oxidise. Because all of the debris that we don't remove today, we can remove during the racking process later.
So, a quick question, Nigel.
Yeah?
I assume that these grapes have got pips in.
Yeah.
Do the pips fall to the bottom eventually?
Yeah, they do. They're nearly all at the bottom.
And does that apply to all fruit? I mean, for instance, my raspberries, would they stay?
I think the raspberry seeds, if there are any, would go to the bottom, but don't forget you've used a muslin bag. So I guess most
I have got some though. I did have some.
Oh, did you?
But I tried to sieve them out.
It shouldn't matter too much, I don't think, as long as they haven't split. This is why you mustn't use a food processor. Because if you use a food processor on any sort of stone or pip, it'll split it and it'll let all the bitter oils out of it.
Okay.
And that will spoil the flavour. Now usually, if I put this on the ground, I could have done this a lot quicker. Because I'm not quite tall enough, but I think that's about done. I'll put that on to stop the insects getting in, whilst I think about what to do next. Oh, right, so we have all the skins in there. Now it's very tempting to just throw those away, but what I'm going to do now is to add another 3 pints of water, and then I'm going to add some more sugar. I've got my little scales here. I'll put a pound of sugar in first.
This is interesting, folks, isn't it? I'm not sure what he's up to, but I guess we'll find out soon. I've got an idea.
So that's a pound of sugar. Put that in. I'm going to get a little drop more water. I can see that I can't yet stir it. It's there's too much solid in there to stir it so far, so I've got to put a bit more water in.
This is where, folks, it would be helpful if we lived in a property that had a massive kitchen like you see on the tellies, you know, where they've all got these centre islands and stuff, isn't it, Nigel? But unfortunately we haven't, so...
No, we're not millionaires,
no.
sadly.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Yes, when we've got past the 5 million views for this video. Right, so...
Well, while we're on about views, don't forget to recommend us to other people you know. Don't forget to share, and like, comment.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. Now, what we're going to get here is, instead of a red wine, we're going to get a wine that is a bit paler, but it will still be worth making. and I'm going to keep putting sugar in there, and after about a fortnight I'll take the skins out, and probably that time I'll throw them away, and then I'll have a rather thin, sweetish wine. And then what I'm going to do, I'll buy some bananas or some other fruit which is relatively cheap, and I'll put those in as well. Probably, how many, if it was bananas, I'd perhaps put in 4 or 5 of them per gallon, and leave those in. Slice them up, don't mush them up, but slice them up carefully. You'll find the bits of banana will float on the top. I'll leave them in there for about a week or a couple of weeks, and then I'll get a sieve and scoop them off very, very quickly, and I'll have another gallon of really good wine. It will be almost as good as that one. And this is called a second fermentation.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Now
Not what I was talking, I didn't mean that when I was talking to you earlier, I meant something else. But...
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Now they do this sort of thing in France and other countries. They don't actually sell the wine from the second fermentation, and they don't add other fruit, but what they do there is they distill it, and they make various sorts of brandy or arak, and there are various other names for it. So they don't use the first quality wine to make the spirits.
Okay.
Yeah, but we will not...
And is that, when you say distill, or do they ferment these?
They ferment them to start with to get the wine.
Right.
So they get a sort
I
of...
suppose, obviously, with those being big companies and that, then they've got a licence to brew.
Oh, of course, yeah.
To do spirits and that. Because over
that's
here
right.
you have to have a special licence.
Oh yeah, there's no way that the amateur can do any distillation over here. It's...
But you can ferment a whiskey or a brandy. You can get the kits.
Can you?
You've never done it?
No, I've not done that.
Yeah, they're 20%, so only half the value, half the...
Oh.
And the way they're able to sell the kits is because it's not distilled, it's fermented.
Oh, so they must be using a yeast that's got a very high tolerance to alcohol.
Yeah. So perhaps we could have a go at one or two of those, a brandy and a whiskey or something.
Yeah, we could, couldn't we? That's interesting. I wasn't aware. Yeah, we'll perhaps have a look at that. Okay, well I think that's it for now. This one will need a little bit more attention, and then when it's ready we'll put it into a demijohn, but we can do that in a separate video.
Okay, Nigel, thank you very much for that latest update. Thanks a lot for watching.